So, you spent all this money on a dental implant, and now it broke when you were eating an apple, and you're so mad. How can we prevent that from happening in the future? Hi, I'm Dr. Brett Langston. I'm a prosthodontist. I'm the owner of Dental Implant and Aesthetic Specialist, and I've been practicing since 2005. Single tooth implants are one of the most successful things we do to replace missing teeth. Failures are rare when planned properly, placed correctly, and with good patient home care. But unfortunately, like everything in the mouth, failures can happen. So make sure you listen to the end to hear about the number one thing that causes implants to break. So before we go into why an implant might break, I want to repeat that a fracture is very rare. And actually, a fracture of the titanium implant is even more rare. The only time that happens is, generally speaking, if you use way too small an implant, you use an off-brand implant, or you put way too big a tooth on. What usually breaks is the tiny abutment screw that holds everything together, and that's a recoverable problem. If the implant and the bone actually breaks, that's a more involved procedure where we have to surgically remove the implant, put bone in the area, allow it to heal, and re-implant. But like I said, the actual implant breaking is extremely rare. The first reason that an implant might fail is that it failed to actually take in the jawbone. Now, this can be for a variety of reasons. Usually it's because the quality of bone wasn't strong enough to hold the implant. The process of placing an implant involves a healthy jawbone actually growing onto the surface of the implant. A lot of times, if this doesn't happen, the implant will fail within the first 3 months. The best way to prevent this type of failure is proper planning. Through a three-dimensional cone beam image, we can look at and we can diagnose and make sure that the areas that we're planning to place the implant are strong enough and have adequate bone to support that implant. Once the implant has fully grown into the bone, about 3 to 4 months, and the crown is put on top of the implant, the next cause for failure is actually that tiny screw that holds the crown to the implant. And a lot of times this is caused by too much force placed on the implant. And the way we can prevent that is, again, with proper planning, but also making sure that the tooth fits in the mouth and isn't too tall or isn't in the wrong position so it's overloaded in an incorrect direction. The third and final reason for an implant failure is actually when the crown on top of the implant fails. And this is usually due to a porcelain fracture from the tooth being overloaded. An implant crown is just as strong as a crown in your natural teeth, but it's not a super tooth. While it is strong and it's aesthetic and it looks like the other teeth, something to keep in mind is you do have to treat it and respect it like the other teeth in your mouth. A normal diet is fine. You can eat and chew and function and treat it just like your regular teeth. But some of the funnier instances that we've had people thinking that their implants were strong involve frozen milk duds, trying to break chicken bones, and a big factor is actually chewing ice. Ice is not good for your regular teeth, but when you add in the cold and you add in the hard, we see a lot of fractures from that. Obviously, this is not an all-inclusive list of why an implant might fail, but follow us as we'll be updating videos with more information. Let me know in the comments below if you've had an implant fail and what you were doing at the time it failed. Thanks again for listening. Again, I'm Dr. Brett Langston, and thanks for letting us help you watch your mouth. Plan proper... Golly. Golly, that is terrible.
That's your Christmas present.
That is terrible.